Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about so what are the right tools for making comics? A lot of people ask me this, but the answer is actually very simple. Nothing. In other words, you let your hands decide, or you choose any kind of tool that you're comfortable with. You could use even the worst of the tools that I use and you could still like it because people have different opinions about different tools. I used to think that I could use anything for making comics. Boy, was I wrong. After visiting the stationery store in Taiwan, I actually got very attached to these particular kinds of pens for my inking or these particular kinds of pencils, but now I use just one of each. I try to make myself use one kind of every tool for each part of the process in my comics nowadays. So here are the kinds of tools that I use. In the previous episode, Page Process, I talked about the use of a blue color pencil. If you have a very dark blue pencil, you might want to tone down your sketch in the computer before sketching on it. If you have a light one, that's fine. I have blue pencils that's somewhere in the middle when my scan tones it down. So that's my rough layout pencil. When I sketch, I use this pencil. It's a mechanical pencil I picked up when I was in Taiwan. The disadvantage of these are that they have lead in them, so you have to refill them every once in a while. But the advantage of them is that you don't have to sharpen them every now and then. Sharpening the sharpness of the wooden pencil, it wears away a lot faster than these mechanical pencils lose the lead. So unless you like break them or something like that. But that's the mechanical pencil. When I'm inking, I usually use this kind of pen or Sharpies. You can get them anywhere. Sometimes I use even these thinner ones. I picked this up in Taiwan as well. And so I also use this kind of pen. My great aunt gave it to me when she was visiting here. She picked it up in Singapore. And so that's my inking. If I'm doing a black and white comic, I sometimes use these fine line Sharpies. Wait a second. These kind of thin Sharpies, because they give off a really thin. They're like Sharpies, but they're actually really thin. So it's like so it's perfect. See, it's you could see how thin it is. It's not like most Sharpies. It's you could ink your images with this kind of thing. And sometimes I use pencil for my inking and adjust the contrast in my computer later on. When I'm painting, like what I did with Hostage, my graphic novel that came out in July 2017, I used a grayscale paint from this old watercolor I have lying around. I used the black one, and the black in watercolor, let me just warn you, they're usually not black, they're gray, but that was perfect for my graphic novel Hostage that I worked on because I didn't want it to be too dark or too light. I just mixed it up with water. And it turned out to be something like this. It turned out very nice. It was just these gray tones that later I could turn into colors. I turned these parts into colors. Here, I'll show you. They turn from that to this. They turn from that page to this. See, I put in the colors with Photoshop, which is, by the way, another software that is crucial, just crucial to making your comics. You could adjust, you could free transform those and scale and rotate them. You could do amazing things with Photoshop. Just trust me. Well, actually, Manga Studio and Adobe Illustrator works too. And see, you could. They turn into these nice, whatever color I want them to be. There's a color palette. So that's the tools I use I hope this was helpful. For more, go to my blog at www.kp1industries.wordpress.com where I post more on my comics. Thanks for watching this video lesson. For more, go to my blog. There's a link in the description box below. Please subscribe. I'm Ian Su. See you next time.